Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little reset in the laundry room and in my bathroom. I'm getting a new washing machine, and the new machine is a lot larger than the current machine that I have. So I'm gonna have to move this shelf out of the corner, and I've decided to repurpose this shelf and use it in my bathroom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video as I do a little sprucing up in my laundry room and in my bathroom. So I feel that this shelf would be a better fit for housing all of my spa accessories versus the rolling rack. Right now, I'm unable to use the pink boxes because how they are stuffed on that rolling rack. Also, I can't put the shower gel, body scrub, and body butter sets together, keep them all in the same spot, because the rolling rack is too small for the shower gels. But using this stand, I'll be able to keep everything together to know exactly what sets I have available to use. So I'm excited. I started off by trying to wipe down the stand, and it's going to need a little bit of paint. So all I'm using is the white paint that I have at home or already have on hand. And I'm just giving the shelf a quick facelift. I've decided while you guys watch me work on the little updates in my bathroom and the sprucing up that I'm gonna do in the laundry room, we'd have a conversation about peace producing boundaries. The last video was on cultivating peace, knowing your capacity and the capacity of others, making sure that we are giving people the right responsibility. In today's video, I wanted to address for me 3 things that I've implemented basically to create clear boundaries. I started off by addressing my limitations, what I was capable of, and what I could handle. I don't know if it's all cultures or just Southern African American culture, but I was raised with my family telling me, like, family come first, like family is everything. It doesn't matter, you stick by family. And I tried that. I tried regardless of how they came or how they were sticking by family. And it robbed me of all sense of peace, and created complete chaos. So I set boundaries. I'm not the type of person to cut someone off. I will distance myself, make room for them to see the errors of their ways, and always be open to the conversation if they want to change. But I don't keep pushing in the name of family. I've decided that nothing will rob me of my peace. I am a better mother, a better friend, a better person when I come to this situation at peace and whole. My mind is clear. I can offer a solution. I can give fresh eyes to a situation. And it's not something that just I can do. We all can, from a peaceful and solid whole space. So I I aspire to stay whole. My boundaries are also twofold. There are boundaries for my children, and then there is boundaries for everyone else. And the boundaries for my children are a lot different than the boundaries for everyone else. But still, there are boundaries. Um, Number one for me is no one moves into my home. Regardless of the story, I do not allow anyone to move into my home. But in reference to my children, their room will forever be their room, and they are always allowed to come home. When they come home as grown men, it is different than when they were little kids. They must have a job, they must have a plan, and there must always be a plan for them to go out and stand on their own. There will be a check in weekly of progress, in depth monthly check in, because it's my job as a mom to make sure they're equipped to stand without me. But I also understand life without a parent is different than life with a parent. And sometimes you need mentally and financially the ability to reset, from a place that's peaceful and costs you nothing. And for my kids, I am determined to provide that for them. But I am their mother, and it is my job to make sure that they are 100% prepared to stand without me, which means coming home to chill is not an option. Coming home to recover, restore, and heal are an option. But in all of that, there must be work towards standing as a man on your own and a plan and set in stone deadlines that you must hit. When it comes to others, regardless of the situation, I do not allow anyone to move into my home. Even if my kids are doing well and standing on their own and do not need their room except to visit their mother, I do not move anyone in. I made that decision because I don't do well living with others. I don't like living with others. It disturbs my peace. My home is my place of refuge. After a long day's work, I can close the door, regardless of politically what is happening, grocery prices, issues at work. I am able to close my door in my home, refresh, restore, recover, so that the next day I can go out in the world solid. Keeping that flow is up of utmost importance to me. Regardless if socially that is how we should behave, it goes against everything I grew up being told. But for who I am as a person on a soul level, having my home be a place that is truly at peace and comfortable for me is key. I am a better asset to everyone tied to me when I am whole. And that is something that keeps me whole. So that's my first boundary. My second boundary is I do not lend money. If I'm able to give, I give it as a gift, but I do not lend and wait to be paid back when it comes to money. I found it to be stressful. And at times in life, I given from a place when I did not have it and I actually needed back and didn't get it. So even though life has changed and God has blessed me, I will give as a gift, but I do not loan out money, just for my peace. And the third and final boundary that I set for myself is I stopped explaining my decisions. Instead of talking fast, I would say, give me a moment to think about it. I started really taking time to think about the decision I was making before I made it, so that I was solid in the decision that I was making and I could stand on it and I didn't feel the need to explain myself. I find when I jump to say yes or I jump to say no to a situation, that after giving it some thought, I would waver in my decision and then feel the need to explain why I made the decision or why I'm changing the decision. And people respect you and the boundaries that you set when you're clear and solid in the decisions that you're making. I don't say no quickly and I don't say yes quickly. I think about it. I realized a while back, like as a society, we've made being there for somebody a monetary thing. Like if they need money, you give them money, and then that means you're really for them or you're support them or you're with them. Or they need a place to stay, you open your door and they can move in, and it's okay if they said they would be there for 3 weeks and it's been 3 months and they're still there. That's how you show you're there for somebody. And it's really not that simple. Being there for somebody doesn't have to rob you of your peace, and it doesn't have to be in the form of letting them move into your home or giving them money. I told you guys in a video how I could go to my father feeling like my world is about to fall apart, or I did or made the biggest mistake. And just sitting on his bed, making me go to a mirror, he would speak life into me. He did nothing but hold space and talk to me. And I went out in the world feeling like I could solve whatever problem came my way. And I always did. I always came up with a solution. If it was financially, mentally, or emotionally, I always adjusted, adapted, grew as a person just from a conversation. The most powerful thing you can do for a person is not fix the situation. And this is something that took me a long time to discover, especially as a mom. That you handicap a person when you show up with your purse out You show up with the open door, but you don't require that they learn, scratch, feel uncomfortable for a little while in the situation and grow. Nothing I've achieved, I achieved without some level of discomfort, some grit, grind, hard work. You don't want to rob the people that you love of that. I can talk to my kids and talk to my family and motivate them in the way my father could motivate me. And that's an asset. Holding space just to allow someone to cry or vent or talk about the situation and you pour encouraging words into their spirit is showing up for them. That's being a good friend, being a good mom. Don't take away the things that they can do and fool yourself into thinking you're doing them a service. I love to think like I'm going to live forever, and I really hope I do live till like I'm 96. But when I leave this world, the last thing I want to worry about is the people around me not having the ability to stand on their own and be okay. I don't want to be the person who handicaps anyone that I love. It's my job to make sure that they can solve problems without me. They can stand financially without me. That is what feels right to me. God doesn't pour money from the sky when there's a situation. He makes a provision, but it's still my job to save. He'll create opportunity, but it's still my job to save the money. The work that you can do or the people in your lives are supposed to do, it's not your job to step in and do it. And for me, boundaries became easier and something that I don't ever deter from once I understood that it's my job to not only be someone who has encouraging words and makes them feel good, but the same way I want the people in my life to hold me accountable, it's my job to hold the people that I love accountable. It's like checks and balances. We all can feel like we're on the right path, we're doing the right thing, and then someone comes in and gives you a clearer perspective, and you're like, okay, I need to check myself. I need to correct this and change this. And God does this for me most of all. When I think I'm on the right path, He'll point out that I need to auto correct that behavior and change my focus. That's love. Never confuse monetary or providing a place physically for a person as support, when support is having the honest, gut-wrenching conversations and making them be responsible, holding space for them. There will be moments where you show up financially, but only from a space that you can. There will be, and make it a gift, not a loan. It strains the relationship, in my opinion. There will be times you can be there for someone, even if they're displaced. It doesn't always have to be allowing them to stay in your home. You can put them up in a hotel for a night to give them some time to come up with a plan. But don't box yourself in to what you should do, because you're a better asset if you're whole. If everything is moving in the situation and nothing is solid, no one is solid, there's nothing for anybody in the situation to stand on. In a world of chaos, you have to create a solid foundation so the people that are tied to you can come to you and you are sound, your mind is clear, and you can see the situation for what it is. When everything is moving and situation in life is hard, it's hard for the people in that to see clearly. But from a place of solidarity, you can see what it is and offer a fresh perspective. And it's just like God talking to us. We can take it, or we can decide we're not going to do that because he gives us free will. The same goes for the people in your lives. They can take what you're saying or your kind words and use it, or they can walk away. You still love them. You still hold space for them, but don't handicap the people around you. And boundaries allow you to stay whole, but also require everybody around you to step up as well as you. It's not an easy task sometimes to watch the people you love fumble. Just the same way it wasn't easy for my father to watch me fumble through it, but he watched because he wanted to know when he left this world I'd be able to stand. I can tell you about all the times my father showed up for me, all the great things he did for me. But for every single time my father showed up for me, I can tell you twice where he said, no, I'm not going to fix it. You're going to feel this. Or no, I'm not going to hold your hand. You're going to be a big girl. You did it. You're going to get your way out of it. It made me a better woman. Being someone's yes person is not your job. Your job is to hold them accountable. Your job is to always do that internal check to make sure they can stand without me and I can stand without depending on someone else. Don't give your work to another person, and that's you wanting alone. I am not asking to stay at anyone's home, which means I have to make sure I secure my home. The things that I require of others, remember I said if I can't give it to myself, I'm not allowed to require it of anyone else. I have to make sure I secure having a home so I'm not showing up needing a place to stay. I have to make sure the money that I'm bringing in, I steward to the best of my abilities so I'm not asking for money. I have to give grace when someone says no, even if it's, do you want to watch a movie with me today? The answer is no. To not get an attitude with them, to understand that in that moment they just have something or it's just no. Still love them. 2 weeks later, I can ask the same question, but move from a place of love and understanding. Don't require more of others than you are giving yourself. And don't give boundaries to others that you haven't set for yourself. I don't lend money, but I don't ask for money. I'm trying my hardest to put God first and make the right choices. Growing up, I used to think my father was so tough. My father is a sweetheart, and we all knew he loved us. But my father is a direct, take no, take nothing type of guy. He is a tough cookie. But I realized that my father had 10 children. All 10 of us are standing on our own. There is something to the method of making people grow. It's not always easy, and I'm realizing now that I'm in that shoe of having to be supportive but also hold others accountable, but it's important. But I'm learning that you're setting boundaries for others, but you're teaching yourself respect. I'm teaching myself respect. I'm not asking of anybody things that I'm not able to do for myself. And that's always requiring me to check in on who I am and how I am on a soul level. As you grow the people around you. And as the people around you grow as well. You're never going to be exposed to something or somebody growing, changing, evolving, maturing, and it not reciprocate in some way or affect you. By elevating yourself, you elevate the people around you. And the people around you elevating in return elevate you on different levels. It has absolutely nothing to do with money, but everything to do with like your personal soul development. And once those things develop, the management of money changes, and so economically everybody changes as well. But boundaries are an important aspect of all relationships, be it the relationship with your kids, the relationship with your partner, the relationship with your family. It's important. And I was not able to have peace that was lasting, because even without clear boundaries, you can access peace. It's just, it doesn't stay. It's always fleeting. Peace that stays and holds and lasts happened for me when I created clear boundaries. And at first, it was hard because when you don't have clear boundaries, it's hard for the people around you to respect what you're saying. But once you get to that space where you stand on your word, it changes everything. How they take your no, what they ask, because no one's going to come to me at this point and ask for money. And it makes the experience of interacting with each other a peaceful exchange. But that's only because we all know what the boundaries are of the relationships that we're in. It's important. It's a very important part of accessing long-lasting peace. So the lunchroom is going to be a work in progress. I still need some liquid dispensing glass jars for the Lysol sanitizer and the fabric softener. And I'll do an Amazon order later. And also, I have tons of items on the kitchen table that I can use later in in a project. But I enjoyed talking to you guys today. Have a great day.